G'day. Hope everyone's doing well, and it is that time again for another Power Rankings. This time it is OCE, just after the first ever regional event for the region. In this Power Ranking on the stream that we did, he had Torsos on to give all of his opinions and his rankings, and I'll give you a little bit of context about that. But if you want to check out what he said and the full in-depth discussion on the stream, I'll leave the link down below and you can catch those highlights. In the terms of the tournaments that we're covering, not very much happening at the moment in the Oceanic region, with RLCS X, of course, being on, and the Bluebird Rivals being more of a challenger tournament. But there's a few important matchups, such as Fury losing to Six Man's Battalion in that one. We'll see Fury later on, maybe affects their results a little bit. In terms of how I like to do my results, I'm very results based, and in specifically head to head. So if you get a win over a top team, it counts a lot more than a third place by beating a bunch of low tier teams, and with extra weight on recency and the more important matches, in this case the Rocket League OCE Championship or RLCSX. Number 10 was Riot Gaming. They're a new entrance to this list. Siva and Change, though, have been together for a very long time now, over a year, I think. But Zuko coming in, he's a young gun with a lot of mechanics, but he has been playing in that bubble scene for a very, very long time. So it's going to be interesting to see how much these guys grow, whether, under the leadership of maybe Change, they can learn a lot. It was very difficult to, I guess, differentiate in the top 10 teams here of Riot Gaming. Realistically, for me, they only fell into that 11th position, and it was because they lost 0-3 to Gaming Gamers. They ended up in this 10th spot because Torsos put them in number 10. Number 9, Fury, big drop off. It's actually -5. I've put him -4, but a surprise considering last season they came second, but they also lost their star player Amphis, and Matro is more of a fill-in, very much not a tournament regular, I'd say. Mostly known in ranked more than anything else, but he's certainly got potential, and I think the Fury have a chance to rise up above this spot. 7 for 8th, if they get another one of those or two, they'll certainly at least get higher than 9. Cambra Havoc, lower than I expected. They are new on this one, but, they were here a year ago because they came second and made their way all the way to Worlds. And I expected more out of this roster on this first event. They came 9th to 12th. They had a difficult run. Of course, they had to verse Direwolves twice. They had Renegades as well. And even No Dramas is certainly not a slouch. Probably a team that I'd put in 10, 11, or 12. And, they didn't have a great run, but there's always that next event, and I'm expecting them to come in the top 8. Torsos rated them really highly, mostly from scrims. They've been really solid in scrims and one of the better teams in the region. Number 7, Vort Central, another new entrance, and for me a really exciting one because Snowy and Vortex in particular have been playing ranked together for a very long time, playing tournaments together. They don't really scrim, they practice in ranked, so it's a very interesting one. They brought in Tango, who has had some RLCS experience last season with Cambra Havoc, but he didn't have to qualify into that top 8. For them to come 5th to 6th, that's Tango's first ever top 8 that he's made it into, and Snowy and Vortex's as well. So real surprise package here. I don't know how they're going to go in the next one. I think it's going to be difficult for them to maintain that same performance, and I likely expect that they will fall down a little bit. Direwolves number 6, Torsos gives them number 5 because of scrims again, being a very clear, strong team. I gave them 6 because of the overall results, but in particular, they didn't have any bad losses. They only lost to Mindfreak and Cringe Society. Above them, they had some okay wins, Vort Central and Cambra Havoc. No Dramas and Obunga in their group were also strong in the stage 1. So they've got no real great wins and no bad losses, but I think the next event will really give us a full story of where they stand. Number 5, Gaming Gamers. You'll have heard of these. These were the team that came top 4 in RLO Grand Slam recently. Leviathan, Zen, and Fiber, all 3 highly gifted individual mechanical players. 2 of them are on Pulse. Fiber is on ATR. And, they made it into the top 4. But as you can see in RLCS Stage 2, no big names had to take down. In fact, they didn't verse any of the top teams in order to get into that top 4. And I felt like they looked really flat inside that top 4. So, this 5 is kind of generous. It's based off making it into that top 4. Not great results in them, but it's hard to put them much lower. They have to really need to pick it up for the next one if they want to even just maintain this position. Number 4, Mindfreak, and this was a nice addition to a top 4 of OCE. Mindfreak really looking like the clear 4th best team at the moment. They only just lost to Renegades in Stage 2. They took down Direwolves very cleanly. Took a couple of games off both Cringe Society and Renegades in the top 4 finals as well. Didn't look like they were ever going to win those series, but very commandingly beat Gaming Gamers and overall look like they're a step ahead of number 5 and the rest of the pack, but still a step behind the top 3. Top 3 is Ground Zero. They didn't make it into the top 4. It was a difficult tiebreaker situation for them. And they lost. The only losses were to Cringe Society. So realistically, no real standout here in terms of where they perform. A little bit of a keen note, because this is a few days after I did these power rankings, but they've also played another tournament that they won over the top of Cringe Society, but that doesn't actually throw them up any higher. It wasn't a tournament that Renegades were in. They didn't participate, but Cringe Society came second, with Ground Zero coming first in the grand final. So some good signs for Ground Zero. There were 3 either way, and are looking a lot stronger with that win going into the next one. Number 2, Renegades. Huge off-season for them, winning all the off-season tournaments after 5th place last RLCS. They looked quite solid on Stage 2. When it came to playoffs and against Cringe Society, they couldn't really get that ball rolling and missed the open net, or not necessarily open net, but missed their shots quite a few times. That 0-4 against Cringe Society, it looks like it was a big crushing defeat on paper, but it was very close in all of those games, and certainly a series and a day that you should really check out over on the ESL_Australia Twitch channel. And yeah, Renegades and Cringe Society right now in a very close battle for first place, but Cringe Society getting that extra 101 points from that first event. That puts them in a really commanding position. The only team they lost to was Renegades in that Stage 2, and that was actually probably the best series of the tournament so far. That was on the ESL_Australia B channel if you want to check that out. That was actually round number 4. Winner would be on 4-0, and Renegades end up going through to day 3, or the final day, as the first seed before getting beaten by Cringe Society twice. So Cringe Society very clear number 1 at the moment, but they certainly could be falling down back to number 2 if Renegades beat them in any tournament in the future. There's going to be RLCSX coming up shortly in the next week or so we'll find out very quickly where these guys stand. Coming up next week, we're going to do an EU power rankings first, so make sure you check out that one. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.